Fantasy Football Show. Today is Friday, August 5th. Follow the show. We're on Twitter at Fantasy Knockout. I'm also on Instagram at Fantasy_Knockout. Please like and subscribe on whatever platform you are watching or listening on. It really helps us out. I'm excited for today's show. We're going to be breaking down the AFC East. We're going to talk projections, player and team expectations. There was a football game on last night. The Jaguars had 11. The Raiders had 27. Raider victory. Very nice. Again, nothing fantasy relevant to come from that game. None of the starters really played other than, I think, Jacobs and a couple rookies. Zamir White and Snoop Connor. It was cool to see those running backs go. Want to give you guys a heads up. The draft cheat sheets are available on the website at fantasyknockout.com. So head there. Get your cheat sheets for this draft season and use those to #dominate your leagues. All right, let's get into some news.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the news.
News with views. All right, so started off, quarterback Deshaun Watson from the Cleveland Browns. He's back again. The NFL is going to appeal for an indefinite suspension that would be a minimum of 1 year. And with his base salary set for about $690,000, the loss of game checks means it's next to nothing when compared to the $240 million that he signed for his extension. They're considering adding a fine to his punishment. Again, this is not over. It'll continue on. Hopefully, they will figure it all out. But as of right now, Watson 6-game suspension. So bake that into your draft costs. I know I have updated the rankings with that. Wide receiver Marquise Brown out of Arizona. He was arrested for criminal speeding Wednesday morning. In Arizona, that just means he was really going really fast. The charges shouldn't be worth a suspension or, in the league's eyes. Or most likely it's just going to be a fine. So we'll kind of wait to see. But I don't expect anything to happen this year. Running back James White out of New England. There's no clear timetable for White's. He had hip surgery to return. So I'm liking Ramondre Stevens more and more especially like this news update. So find Stevenson to move up the draft rankings a little bit more. Wide receiver Tim Patrick out of the Denver Broncos. He tore his ACL in Tuesday's practice. Bummer. This just makes, that really sucks for him. But it makes Sutton and Judy's ADP. They're going to rise. I'm going to like them a lot more. The owner, Stephen Ross of the Miami Dolphins, he was suspended until October 17th and fined $1.5 million and also stripped the team of their 2023 first-round pick and their 2024 third-round pick for tampering violations with Tom Brady and Sean Payton and stuff like that. So, oh well. Wide receiver Deontay Johnson out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He signed a 2-year extension for $36.7 million. Good for him. I know a lot of it's front-loaded, like $19 million of that is for this year. Wide receiver Mike Evans. He left practice early with an injury. Head coach Todd Bowles said Evans could be dealing with a hamstring injury. This is not good, so we'll knock him down a little bit in the draft rankings as well. All right, so we got the main event. We're going to break down the AFC East. Here we go. So the Buffalo Bills last year, they were 11-6. This year, their win projected is very similar. They're at 11.5. So I see them doing better this year than they did last year. The quarterback is still Josh Allen, the stud. His ADP is at 2.5, so he's going mid-second round, third round. I got him projected for 4,300 yards, 33 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 671 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. I would have him as my number one quarterback. I like him a lot. I don't like the draft price, so if he happens to fall third, fourth round, it's still steep for my liking as taking quarterbacks later. But if you do, just don't go too early with Allen. The running backs there is Devin Singletary and rookie James Cook. Singletary's going in the 8th round. Cook is going in the 12th round. Yes, that is Dalvin Cook's little brother. Singletary got projected for 819 yards, 6 touchdowns, 34 receptions for 200 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. Cook I got for rushing for 400 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 39 receptions for 305 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. I'm good with either one, especially at their draft prices. Cook is more of the scat back, the third down back. they'll use Singletary heavily there to start the season, but I imagine Cook will take over and eventually, be the main guy there in Buffalo. Plus, it's a high passing volume offense, so I'll take pieces wherever I can get from those good offenses. Wide receivers, Stephon Diggs and Gabriel Davis. Diggs is going in the early second round. I got him for 105 receptions, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns. I could see Diggs he's got a chance to be the number one overall receiver this year. So I like Diggs. I'll take him, that late first, early second. I would put him in my top 4 receivers this year. Then Gabe Davis, he's going in the late 8th round. I got him for 66 receptions for 1,075 yards, 8 touchdowns. I like the upside of this guy a lot. I think he will produce. If we all remember, the 4-touchdown game towards the end of the season in the playoffs or whatever, he has talent. I'll take him as my 3rd, 4th, 5th receiver on my team later in the draft. Then the tight end is Dawson Knox. He's going in the 9th round. I don't necessarily see him repeating what he did last year as far as the touchdowns, but I got him for 44 receptions, 545 yards, 5 touchdowns, not the 10 or 9 that he had last year. Knox is a great streamable tight end. I'll take him at the end of a draft and just roll with my punches. Next is the Miami Dolphins. Last year they were 9-8. This year we have them projected for 8.5 wins. The quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, struggled with that one. He's going in the 13th round, mid-13th round. Have him projected for 3,784 yards, 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 183 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Tua, streaming quarterback, not drafting him necessarily. We'll see what he does. Hopefully, the team put a lot of weapons around him, so hopefully he can level up and move up his second year. It's actually his 3rd year, but it's more like his 2nd year playing. The running back there is Chase Edmonds to own. I like Chase. He's going in the 10th round. For a starting running back, that is solid value. Scoop him up. He could easily break these projections I have for him with 613 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 48 receptions, 345 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. I like that a lot. The other running back is Raheem Mostert. He's going in the 14th round. I just don't trust Raheem all that well. Got him for like 500 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 14 receptions for 136 yards, and 0 touchdowns. The receivers to own is going to be the new addition Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So Hill's going in the 3rd round, early 3rd round. Waddle's going in the late 4th round. Got Hill projected for 89 receptions for 1,100 yards, 7 receiving touchdowns. Waddle for 106 receptions, 1,043 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So fairly similar. If I were to take one of these two guys, I'll take Waddle just because of the draft cost is another round later. And Waddle is a stud. Tyreek will still do what he does, just not to the level we are used to when he was in Kansas City. The tight end there is Mike Gesicki. He's going in the 13th round. I got him projected for 57 yards, 646 receiving yards. 57 receptions, 446 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm off of Gesicki this year. He's a streamable tight end, but I'm probably not going to draft him. I'll find other guys, or there's a lot of other guys I like better. The New England Patriots, last year they were 10-7. This year their win projected totals at 8.5. I see them getting about that. So doing more similar what they're doing. They lost their offensive coordinator. He's over at the Raiders now. But their quarterback is Mac Jones. I could see him leveling up. He put on a bunch of weight and muscle this offseason. He's going in the 13th round. Got him projected for 3,970 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 161 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Again, streamable option. Not really going to be drafting Mac Jones. Not too excited really starting him unless it's a bye week. The running backs is Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. Harris is going late 6th round. Got him for 927 yards, 10 touchdowns, 14 receptions for 109 receiving yards, and 0 receiving touchdowns. Harris is he is the better back of the two, but I like to the upside of Ramondre Stevenson. Got him for 677 yards, 6 touchdowns, 22 receptions for 200 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. If something happens to Harris, he got nicked up last year a couple times, Stevenson will jump in that role and be a stud. So I'll take Stevenson in that 11th round as a backup running back just to fill my bench. I love the upside there. The receivers to own are going to be Devontae Parker and Jacoby Myers. Parker's going in the 13th round. Myers is going in the 14th round. Got them similarly projected. Parker got for 62 receptions, 866 yards, 4 touchdowns. Myers, 63 receptions, 733 yards, 44 touchdowns. Not really going to be touching any of those guys. Don't like them for the fantasy side of things. They'll be good, solid NFL players this year. Then the tight end is Hunter Henry. I'll take a stab at him. I'll draft him late. 14th round, 55 receptions for 654 yards, 6 touchdowns. Easily could do that. Him and Jones seem to have a knack for the red zone. So I like Henry going forward. Last is the New York Jets. Last year they were 4-13, not good. This year their win projected total is at 5.5. The quarterback is Zach Wilson. He's going in the 13th round. Probably not going to draft him this year. Got him projected for 3,693 yards, 21 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 264 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Okay, nothing to get excited about. But the other pieces I like. Running backs are Breece Hall and Michael Carter. Hall is going in the 5th round, and Michael Carter is going in the 13th round. Carter, let's see, I got projected for 457 yards, 4 touchdowns, 37 receptions, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns. Backup, flexible option. You can put him on your bench. Not really looking to draft Michael Carter. The guy I do want is Breece Hall, the rookie there. Got him for 1,039 yards, 6 rushing touchdowns, 35 receptions, 302 yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. I have him comp similar to Jonathan Taylor. Love the talent. I'm not saying that Hall will be Jonathan Taylor this year, but look what Taylor did over his rookie year, his second year, his third year. Now he's going to blow up. So Breece Hall, solid running back, like the talent there. Then the receivers are Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson. I like Moore a lot this year. He's going in the 10th round. That's a great value. Garrett Wilson's going in the 13th round. Good value for a rookie. Moore, I got projected for 77 receptions, 965 yards, 6 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson for 67 receptions, 984 yards, and 4 touchdowns. The tight end is CJ Uzomah. He's going undrafted. I'm not looking for him. Got him projected 46 receptions for 448 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nothing special. But I love the value of Moore and Wilson. I could take a stab at one of those guys as a bench receiver. See what they do. Put them in your flex. You'll like that a lot. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. The next show we have is draft strategies. We'll go over like zero RB, value-based drafting, etc., stuff like that. I want to say thank you for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you are listening or watching on. Please leave a rating and review. Really helps me out. All right. Till next time. See ya!